Hey, y'all, welcome to Challenge Accepted, the podcast where we challenge each other to a new movie or TV show every week. I am Frank, and once again, I'm joined by James of Distance Nerding. How you doing, James?
Hey, I'm doing great. I'm so excited. I'm loving Peacemaker. Every episode's grabbing me, and I'm super excited. And I'm happy to be back. Thank you, sir.
Oh, happy to have you. In this episode, we are fully diving into that other dimension. What was your first take from this new world that Chris is running around in?
You know what's funny? Okay, so I'm Filipino. My skin is very brown compared to a lot of the people in the background of this other dimension. So the first thing I noticed was like, where's all my brown people? Where's all my brown people at?
James, I thought I was the only person on Earth who caught that. I'm so happy you caught that.
And but it's one of those things where like I keep seeing the trailers or the ads or like the quick shots. I'm like, there's no brown people in this other dimension.
Yeah.
It's so interesting to see that. But I think that's where we're going with this. I'm sorry to jump into this right away. Like this is the big 100%, theory.
I'm so on, man. Go, man.
Honestly, I think we're seeing things from the winner gets to write history.
Yes.
I think it's his dad. I forgot his dad's name or moniker that he goes by, but I think he won. And now we're seeing things from like, I'm going to say white supremacists point of view. And this is their utopia. So as much as Chris or Peacemaker sees this as like, I have my dad, I have my brother, people love me because I'm a hero. I get the girl, I get Amelia Harcourt. As much as it's going to be that, he's going to realize like, oh, this world is not what I expected it to be. And I have my friends. I have my friends, Adebayo and everybody else. And I think they do a very good job of like, hey, we're going to show off lesbians, LGBTQ people, Black people, Asian people in the current version of his universe. And then what is he giving up for this potential dream life that he's always wanted, So I kind of stole the show. What do you think about all this?
Dude, like literally I rewatched it this morning and it almost sounds offensive to say, but I was looking out for Black people. And there were absolutely none in that world. And I'm thinking, so we talked about it last week, how like, the news articles about his success is about him beating like Rainbow Man and like,
you mentioned that
Woke Lad or whatever, and then it's like, it's amplified. There's nobody there. Here we go. So we have confirmation that his dad's name in this universe is the Blue Knight, not the Red Knight or whatever. So it's color changed.
Okay.
Doesn't mean his ideology changed. And I'm going to go real dark with this. What if it boils down to the linchpin of this world is that maybe the South won in the Civil War, or there was no Civil War?
That could be it. That's a good, so like it's kind of rooted in their history.
Yes.
That this happened because, there's all these little hints. Like he was talking to his brother, and his brother, as caring as he is,
nice guy,
nice guy, as he was cooking some eggs or whatever it is, he's like, what's a Kardashian?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, there's no Kardashian in this world, which probably means there's no Ray J, if you know what I mean, which probably means there's no like big Black singers and, R&B. Right. I'm like, oh, what's happening?
And if the Kardashians are not famous, it's because their dad wasn't famous, who got famous by representing O.J. Simpson. And that whole case came down to the fact that it was racially biased. So it's like, did any of that matter?
Oh my gosh, that's so true. I forgot about that part. Yeah. I was just thinking of Bruce Jenner, but that's a completely different story.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Huh. Interesting. I think we're right. I want to say
how dark do you think this might go if we are right? Because if there was no Civil War, or if the South won and there's no Black people in the streets of, I think it's called Evergreen, where might they be?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Like a whole separate state, a whole separate country, maybe? Oh, so interesting.
Or employed somewhere else, if you know what I mean. I hate to even say this out loud, right?
I know, right?
So,
it's tough.
It's tough. But then, like, so we know the last 3 episodes of this season are supposed to be, like, basically an entirely new season. how much of a slam the brakes would it be if you saw that people were like in the cotton field still even or something crazy?
Something, yeah, that would be crazy. Okay, speaking of crazy, you did also get something right with one of your theories with Rick Flag Jr.
Yes, I sure did. Yes.
and that came sooner than expected because last time we were talking, we were like, maybe it's episode 6, 7, 8. They haven't released them yet. What is it going to be? Those are our theories for down the road. But hey, happened in the next episode.
What do you think they're going to do with that?
Well, let's start off with, this is not the Rick Flag Jr. of the Earth that we know. This is like almost like a bumbling idiot version of Rick Flag Jr., you know?
Yes.
Very.
And why, I wonder why that is. I have a feeling it's because he didn't have a father figure maybe, or something's missing out of his life that's like clutched to his personality. And I would assume if Rick Flag Sr. is your dad, you're pretty military minded. You might be like gun ho all the way through. So if his dad is missing out of this world because that, then all of a sudden maybe he wouldn't be so inclined to be, you know, gun toting Rick Flag Jr.
That's a good question. That's interesting. And maybe this is a parallel, you know, like maybe this is going to be, you know, Chris Peacemaker looking for his perfect family, father, brother alive sort of thing. But then maybe we're going to get the same thing with the Rick Flags, you know, junior and senior. Maybe, you know, Rick Flag Sr. is still sad that he lost his son. He goes to this other universe, sees a version of his son, and then, you know, on the similar note, Rick Flag Jr. from that other universe, Earth 2, you know, sees his father. Like maybe it's going to be a weird, like, that's the family I'm missing kind of thing.
Yeah. I can totally see that working out. Yeah. Okay. So do you think they're going to, I don't know. Do you think he's going to play a big part or is he just there for the cameos? Rick Flag Jr.
Well, I mean, he is going to play a bigger part, and even it's a bigger part of the story that we got at the very beginning of the episode with the 3 months earlier, I think it was, or something like that, where it showed Harcourt having a relationship with Rick Flag Jr. before the events of the Suicide Squad movie, and they go to Corner Maltese, you know? So it's like, oh, maybe that's why Harcourt is so, I don't know, like has such like a love-hate relationship with Peacemaker, because I think she likes Peacemaker and sees that he's trying hard, but also has this thing of like, you killed, I think she called him a friend, you know, you killed my friend, even though they were sleeping together, friends with benefits. You killed my friends with benefits, who I might have had emotional ties to. Yeah. So I think that's why she's so torn between what she should do with her life now.
And then it furthers the question of, is that part of the reason that she was part of the rebellion against Amanda Waller in Suicide Squad? Because they all turned on her for very good reasons, but maybe that's part of it. Maybe like they have friendships and stuff like that with some of these people that are in the Suicide Squad, although Junior is kind of like, you know, adjacent, not necessarily in it. It could. I love that we're kind of we're retconning so much of Suicide Squad to bring it into this universe, because it's fantastic too. It was a really good movie. Yeah. So I'm glad we're bringing that in.
But you know, that 5-minute, you know, scene of Harcourt and Rick Flag Jr. together added such another layer to this whole DCU, I guess DCEU and DCU that we're getting to know. And I'm super excited for that. So like we said before, all these characters are on a journey, and we're slowly starting to see their parts. You know, I'm a little nervous about the new Harcourt 2.
Yes.
You know, because she seems so sweet and so perfect, but there's going to be this something, there's going to be something a little off about this whole Earth 2 thing.
So speaking of Harcourt and her position on the Sons of Liberty, which are the terrorist group that we see in this one now, Sons of Liberty in, I was going to say 616. That's not correct. That's Marvel. But, you know, in our Earth, they're bad guys. They are constitutionalists to a fault. And I think that maybe in Earth 2, it's the other way around. Maybe they are trying to break that up because they're saying that we're going to destroy one segment or whatever of the government every week. So could the Sons of Liberty be good people in this?
I mean, it depends on the point of view that you're coming from.
Yeah, and good people's a little strong. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I think you're right. I think it's a bait and switch. Like they're not the terrorists that we typically see as people trying to disrupt for bad reasons. They're like trying to disrupt for, I guess, for our version, good reasons.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. I don't know.
Yeah, a little V for Vendetta. I was really hoping that storytelling wise, there would be some people of color in that group that were attacking. Like that would have like kind of even more solidified it, but there were none. So like, okay, so maybe, you're constantly like stretching out your theories and stuff like that. There's a lot going on with this one. And
I thought about that too when they came on screen, but I think it's going to be like, it's supposed to help keep you guessing. If that's the only place we saw them, then it would get a little funky. But I think it's just to help keep you guessing and help this storyline go over multiple episodes, because sooner or later they're going to have somebody of color in this universe, right?
Yeah. Where's Amanda Waller? Where's Adebayo? I mean, Amanda Waller should be still in charge of Argus. She didn't get overthrown in that universe, maybe.
Maybe she's head of Sons of Liberty. Oh my God! See?
Oh my God! I didn't think about her being Sons of head. The mind, it keeps blowing.
You blew my mind, and I blew your mind, and oh my gosh!
Oh God, I love this damn show. Okay, let's talk about the rest of the 11th Street kids for a second here. There seems to be, I love the heart-to-hearts. Those are always my favorite. And we got two of them that I really liked. Well, one that was just fun. But Harcourt talking to Adebayo, I think they got each other's numbers so down. I think they know exactly how both those clocks work. And sometimes you need that kind of like just straight talking friend. And I think that's what they two have. They finally have each other.
Yeah. And the hangover conversation, the filters went away and Adebayo just went right after Harcourt and like, hey, what's going on with you? What's wrong with you? Why are you doing this? So I think that's gonna be our way to see this Harcourt's where she stands emotionally and where she's gonna be in her head. But we're starting to also see that with like the other people, the vigilantes and the economists, in getting those little bits of storyline for them as well. Like it's getting too close for economists. He's sitting in the bathtub and then Argus, Sasha from Argus calls and he's in the room with Vigilante. It's like, what is happening? Speaking of Vigilante, it's weird how they keep pushing, like he's really into spiders, really into whatever, crows or whatever else he was into. But it's like, he keeps getting answers wrong. It's like, well, I don't think you're really into things if you get like, you don't know how many eyes
what do you think? Why do you think they're trying to push that narrative for him?
I think he's trying to be like, hey, I'm smart and I'm an expert on something. Like I'm passionate about something, but I don't think he's really that. I think that's his facade of like, I'm trying to be accepted somehow. And
I think it kind of comes down to like at one point he was saying basically he's like a guy or whatever, and or he hasn't done bad things, and Economist is like, well, how many people did you kill? And then he changes the subject. Was it Economist? And one of them said that, and so I'm wondering if like because they're in a moment of peace, he feels like he doesn't bring any value to the table, and so he's kind of just waiting for guns to start blazing again, and at that point is when he's going to feel like, oh, he belongs. Like frankly, if he were to be over there helping Eagly, oh, he'd be set. That would be his ideal situation. He doesn't need to be talking to the humans. He needs to talk to the eagle right now.
That'd be good. Just telling Eagly about his love for spiders.
Or I could see him telling Eagly eagle facts.
Yeah, so into eagles.
Yeah,
I can tell you how many.
Did you know eagles have like
have.
2 sets of eyes?
I can tell you how many feathers you have right now.
Yeah. Do you feel like one of the things I'm kind of like, okay, maybe this is too silly, but also I'm just on board. The idea that Eagly really needs that many people coming after him. Does that feel like it might be overboard?
Yeah, I think it's definitely overboard. But I mean, hey, he's You never know. He's a meta duck. Isn't that what Fleury called him? Like, it's a meta duck.
And then it's like, you lied to me. It wasn't a duck. Oh my God, dude.
You told me it
the
was a
bird blindness
duck.
is real.
Oh, that running joke. I love it so much.
Yeah.
But you kind of nailed it. It kind of tied into Superman because they talked about we're bringing all these agents because any kind of anomaly like this, because of what happened in Metropolis,
Right.
this is why we're bringing so many agents. So it was a nice little like reference to Superman. And I think that's why James Gunn released Superman on digital, because he's like, we want people to see this. It's actually really smart because I ended up renting it or buying it as well on digital, even though I saw it in the theaters. Like, I need to see it again just in case. And there's just a little bit of tie-in. My wife ended up watching it as well. So smart move, James Gunn.
Yeah. And today he came out and said that Peacemaker season 2 is a prequel to Man of Tomorrow, which he just announced for coming out in 2027. This guy's a marketer. James Gunn, he's a good writer, a marketer. DC's in good hands, I think, with him.
He knows how to keep things in the media. Like, think about the media push that Superman had way before it even started production. It was just this drip of news, bits in here and there. He's a genius. Just
that picture of Superman in, kind of like whatever, like putting on his boots. We extrapolated that into so much content. We kept it a buzz thinking, does the suit fit? Why is he not caring about the thing in the background? Blah, 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 blah. And then when you see it in context of the movie, you're like, oh, it makes complete sense. But he put that out there and he didn't come out and correct anybody. He just let us feast on it. And he knows what he's doing. He is a man built for this era of social media. It's smart. And frankly, I think maybe Marvel needs to kind of pay attention a little bit more. They should have listened to him a long time ago. So
even today, I think it was today, I saw it on Comic Book Nation, but they released a picture of John Cena in the same outfit he was wearing in episode 3.
Yes.
Next to David Cornsweet in the Superman outfit.
Yeah.
Straight off movie set. I know they were filmed close together because James Gunn was able to run from set to set and help out. I think this episode was also directed by Greg Mottola. So I think James Gunn was able to just go bounce back and forth, make sure things are good. But seeing them together makes me think like, well, I didn't think Superman would guest appear in Peacemaker, but now that I'm remembering that they're so close together as far as filming, like maybe we do get Cornsweet in these episodes later on. What do you think?
And like a dumb big fat fish, I took that bait and pulled hard, man, because immediately I posted it to say, does Superman get a cameo in this? And I right away was thinking about like, well, that was a big part with Hawkgirl and Green Lantern is because they were filmed next to each other. So yeah, I bit hard on that bait, man, and it's just a masterclass in marketing. It's a smart move on his part. How many pictures does he have on that phone? I want to see them all.
That phone needs to be. I bet he has a snakeskin case for that phone.
Oh, yeah, I bet he does. How many times do we see his Rock Band posters and stuff like that on? He's up there just publicizing himself, and hey, he owns he's in charge. Go for it, man. I mean, do what you want to do. It's fun.
Oh, there's another connection to Superman. Is that what is the name of the band? I forgot the name of the band. But I think Clark in his room back in Kansas had a poster of a band, like one of those pop punk bands that Lois Lane was making fun of him about. That same band had a billboard in the other universe.
Right.
In Earth 2. I'm going to say Earth 2. Right above the building. I think Chris Peacemaker ends up running across it to jump to that other building.
Mighty Crabjoys.
That's what it was.
Yeah,
that's what.
And also, he has this feud with Jared Leto, and in the last episode was fully talking shit about 30 Seconds to Mars or whatever, and was like they are terrible, and just kept pushing it. And it's like, oh man, that Twitter beef is getting into the shows.
I like that. Make it spicy.
Hell yeah. Is there anything else you want to make sure to pull into this episode? One of the things I want to make sure to mention, and you had brought it up earlier, is I hope that we find out Keith in some way is not tainted by this negative world that's around him because he's such a good character. But the way that he went through that helicopter and didn't care where the helicopter landed after it blew up was very much like, that's not good. That reminds me of some of the worst parts of Watchmen.
He did a literal cannonball into that helicopter and killed them all. And no regard for what was happening below. And they made sure to show like people running around like, oh my God, watch out. That helicopter's about to crash. I think they're setting us up. I think they're drawing us in that he's a caring older brother of Chris. But I think in the end, he's just his morals are skewed based on the universe he lives in. And he's going to be a bad guy. And Chris is going to have to come to terms with like, what do I need to do? Do I help these people? Do I save these people? Do I just leave and go back to my own universe? Mm-hmm. I think by the end of the show, he's going to have to fight some of the same fights that he's already had with his dad and morals and poor Chris. Is he going to ruin this universe?
I think it's his dad, that the security guard for Argus. I believe it was dad who said his dad has cancer.
You know, he said, I caught that too. He said Mr. Grant. And there was, I remember, you know, I had to like, who is Mr. Grant? I had to do some research on it. Okay. There's no set Mr. Grant in the DCU. Yeah. And I ended up Googling it. Yeah, exactly. Except for that one. But the only thing, I don't remember his full name, but Wildcat. His name was Grant. Okay. But I don't know if they'd pull Wildcat into this. But I mean, Wildcat has always been like this older, you know, superhero. So it could be Wildcat.
It definitely feels like the level that Peacemaker operates at, you know, like that kind of DC hero or DC, like, you know, deep dive.
Though, you know what? Now I'm thinking about it. Remember in Superman when they showed the mural in the Hall of Justice?
Yeah, the
Wildcat was in that as well.
You're right.
So maybe, I mean, that would have been so that would put Wildcat as an older hero. Maybe it is Wildcat. I'm thinking about it.
So what if the JSA is bad guys too in this world? Like, what if we find out the JSA stopped civil rights?
Oh, what are we saying here?
Oh no! I love Alan Scott. Don't do this to me.
Don't do it. Oh yeah, the original Green Lantern. Okay, let's switch that. There was another Easter egg to the Suicide Squad. Okay, because remember, Rick Flag, going back to Suicide Squad, Rick Flag was seeing or in an emotional relationship with what's her name, the Enchantress.
Oh yeah.
But then he's sleeping with Amelia Harcourt on the side, literally right before they go to Court of Maltese.
Right.
Like, what's up, Rick Flag Jr.? Just bouncing around doing your thing.
I mean,
but there was another little tie that. Yeah. Well, I mean, it does tie in. It does confirm that, like, okay, so more events from the Suicide Squad is part of the DCU.
And I'm glad, because it's not like that movie needs to be completely forgotten. There was some really interesting elements of that movie, and I feel like with how good James Gunn did with Suicide Squad, it was kind of like, oh, the Suicide Squad doesn't count anymore. But there were some really good elements. I really like Diablo's character and his sacrifice. So I'm glad that we're kind of still keeping those threads tied. I mean, we could lose the Joker thread. We'll cut that one, but the others should be there. Yeah.
Yeah, that is true. Okay. I don't know. I mean, what do you think about this Universe 2 or Earth 2? I think you kind of nailed it with, where's all the brown people? Yeah.
Well, and I can't believe you caught that too. I was so ready to. I've been like trying to figure out a way to post that online in an intelligent way. And all I keep coming back to is the Peter Griffin awful lot of honkies or this. That's kind of like, that's the only thing I keep coming back to is like, yeah, Peter Griffin's trying to get out of court with this thing. I think that this is, I almost think James Gunn is pulling this off because of the reaction to the multiverse from Marvel. Like here, he left, I mean, he respects Marvel, but he also keeps calling out the things that he's doing better than them. And what a great way to do that. And the main thing that got going on right now is multiverse. Let me show you guys how to do it the right way. Could you see that kind of spite maybe coming out of him?
I I didn't think about that. So maybe, but what I was thinking, this could tie into a theme that he's going to run through the entire first. I think he's calling it first phase of the DCU.
Monsters,
you know,
and
gods and monsters. Yeah, gods and monsters,
yeah.
monsters, gods. I think he's going to write, and he started it with Creature Commandos, Superman, and Peacemaker. There's this. What does it mean to be human? Thing, you know, and what kind of morals do you have as a human, and as a bigger sense, you know, human in this world? Because there's a lot of minorities in Superman, and they made a point to do that. The people that were helping Superman were minorities. He was going to another country and helping the people that needed help, you know, because it was the right thing to do as a human. And I think that's kind of going to carry over into what Peacemaker is going to deal with. Like, what does it mean to be human, and what's the right thing to do morally, you know, for humanity, whether it's in this universe or the other. So I think that's going to be a thing that he's going to bring through. And by the way, Creature Commandos, they exist. You know, what is it? Task Force M. They exist because they said don't use humans anymore. And Amanda Waller was like, all right, I'm going to go use monsters. Yeah. And so she grabbed all the monsters and not humans. So
that'll bring back humanity. It's like, why are they monsters? Are we calling them monsters just so that we can alienate them and stuff like that? And that can go back to all the other versions of this too. Yeah.
They're expendable because they're not a human.
We're going to go back to Metamorpho and stuff like that, who I think of the Justice Gang showed the most humanity. Like his love for his son is something that I don't think we would have seen out of. I mean, Guy Gardner was such a jerk, you know. And so
exactly.
Classic Guy Gardner. So I could see that.
Exactly.
The other thing I want to bring up too, like, I mean, this is just the last fleeting thought thing I should have talked about earlier, is I really like how Vigilante, the thing with like bringing up animals a lot. And then I brought this up during the Superman movie review too, is I can see them putting this on Mr. Terrific. The maybe the spectrum, like maybe people being not being wired the same way, and how like they're extremely valuable and stuff like that. Like Vigilante, his superpower in a lot of ways is his lack of empathy. But then if we put that on Mr. Terrific, which I'm not saying he is not neurodivergent in any way, but his emotional connection to others, I think you could kind of see something there maybe. And so I love the idea that it's not being necessarily called out. You can feel it in the room, and they're praised. They're so valuable because of it, you know?
Yes. And they approach problem solving in different ways.
Yeah. And it's needed.
Exactly. Like the way, like Vigilante is the guy you want to call. You need to bury a body, literally. Like call him. He's going to be your guy. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
You need to fix a multiversal tear. Okay, let's call Mr. Terrific, and he's not going to worry about anything else but fixing that tear. Yeah. You know, he can care less
even
about
when the Justice Gang is like weighing the politics of it, he's like, no, I know it's right. Let me go do this. And he left with Lois Lane, left the Justice Gang behind to go take care of business. And it's like, that might be something there. There's something there that I think James Gunn does this thing where he likes to subtly write society rights or society's, you know, I don't know. I'm stumbling on my words, but it's just really impressive, his writing and how he's bringing in everybody. He does well with the misfit toys, I think, is key with James Gunn.
And you think about it, like, as much as we're talking about comic book characters and these big grandioso, you know, gods and monsters, you know, it always boils down to like people with flaws with James Gunn, like people with issues, and how they deal with that, dealing with humanity and what it means to be human and doing the right thing. Just like Guardians, just like Superman, just like Peacemaker, it all has the same type of theme where it's like, what does it mean to support other people and not just think about yourself, and how do you grow as a person and overcome your own issues or deal with your issues, that sort of thing. It's
incredible.
What happened to James Gunn as a kid? I know. Could you imagine going back to your younger self and like, hey, that Scooby-Doo director is going to be something hot in the future, man. Keep an eye on him. Exactly. What's happening here? But
it's incredible.
I'm so enjoying Peacemaker, and it's making. I love that they're doing this, by the way, week to week. They could have easily released a couple episodes together. But I love having these conversations, and each episode is giving us enough to have these conversations, giving us these little nuggets about, what did we just see? What's going to happen? Look at this character in this universe versus the other universe. I love how it's creating conversations.
Yes. And another thing too, from a podcaster standpoint, I often watch everything that we review twice just so that I can catch what I didn't catch the first time. And it's nice to have this, and actually Alien Earth is doing the same thing. I want to watch it again. So it's not just necessarily my podcasting duties. I want to see that again. Like Alien Earth this week was a prequel, basically an alien movie. And so, I was like, I got to see that again. It's nice that we're in a world right now where there's so many little details and nuggets and something that you feel like I have to sit there and digest this, and it's not just popcorn, for the eyes. It's quite good right now. We're in good times.
Let me know when you do a challenge accepted for Alien Earth, because I need to watch that, because I'm watching it, I'm enjoying it, but I have so many questions about what's happening. I need somebody to explain this to me. So
let's, if you're on board with that, for that one, since we're not doing week to week, we could do at the end of the show, when it's fully done, kind of discuss what we saw and stuff like that. Because right now, this week did you watch this week's episode?
Mm-hmm. I did.
I have a question. Is that eyeball alien a good guy? Is he on our side?
I think he is. The way he was taking his little tentacle and knocking, I'm like, oh, he knew something was happening. He's like, I got to get out of this canister, Yeah. So
and he attacked the xenomorph. So can the xenomorph be infected by him? Oh man,
could be. And you know what? To be honest, yes, he did attack that sheep from episode 2 or whatever.
Right.
But he hasn't gone after a human that's alive.
Yeah.
I know he tried to attack
he did on the
synthetic.
Ship. He did attack that one that was the engineer or the mechanic for the ship. He had that one in this week's. But when he's the sheep, he's not freaking out. He's just watching. He's just learning. And they said that what he's doing is he's using the brain power of the sheep. So it's like a parasite. He needs that to better process his environment.
Is he a good guy?
I don't know. Are we rooting for the eyeball? It's so weird.
We just need to see things from the eyeball's point of view.
Yeah. So good old alien POV. Oh boy.
I do enjoy that show too. Okay.
Yeah. We'll talk about it afterwards. That'll be good.
We're cooking. We're feasting on all these shows that are streaming right now. So.
Well, guys,
I think Peacemaker is my favorite.
Yeah, I am watching that one. It's a little bit, again, it's less heady, less thinking about it afterwards. Just kind of nice. James, thank you again for joining me. I appreciate you coming on for this.
I love it. I appreciate it. You blow my mind every single time we talk about Peacemaker. I love all the theories that you come up with. It's great.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you on the next one. By the way, the next episode is going to be all about Dirty Dancing, and we're talking with Rena from Call Your Daddy podcast, and she talks about the relationship between father and daughter and how that develops in that movie. And it was my first time watching Dirty Dancing, and holy cow, that's a good movie. Who knew? So make sure you guys join us over there. Appreciate it, and bye.
Nobody puts baby in a corner.